Since we're starting the coaching, I have been aiming and wanting for you to understand that training, there are 4 ways that your body uses energy that we put in our body every day, okay, which is called the total daily energy expenditure. The TDEE, which is this graphic that I sent you here, tells us that 70% of the calories that we consume are burned in the basal metabolic rate. This is pretty much just the activity that this is what your body needs in order to survive if you were in coma. Then after that, 15 to 20% will be accountable for how much you move in the day. And most of the people who have sedentary jobs, my job is sedentary, it's just that I do have my job on my stepper. But most of the people who have sedentary job, no matter if they train, they will be equally sedentary if they don't increase how much they move on the day. And the need, to be quite frank with you, for someone who is wanting to remain as athlete and be active should not be any lower than 10K. Okay, when we started, I go to the target of 10 to 12,000. We lower to 8 to 12,000 for the days that you are going to be busy. First, stick to that guidelines, and second, for us to be able to push those steps further, especially when we're going to be on a cut. So let me just finish with here. Then after, we have the thermogenesis effects of food, which is why we don't want to be dropping down food massively, because for your body to break down food is also needing calorie to break down food, okay? And we want to keep the metabolism high so that you're almost on a check, so that you have energy for the activities of the day as well as your training, recovery, etc. And then the last bit that is only equal to 5 to 10% is the exercise activity thermogenesis. So you will tell me, oh, but what do I train for then? We train to trigger the muscle to send the stimulus that when we are either in bulk or gain, we are building muscle. It's not just that we're just shacking on food and then let it sit for the body to do whatever they want. No, the food is taking taking the information from training and using the food to repair the muscle that we have just broken down so that it grows. And when we are on a cut, the reason why we still train and trigger the muscle is to make sure that the body understands that the weight that we are wanting to lose is not going to be coming from muscle, it's going to be coming from fat. And so when we trigger the muscle, the body understands this muscle is still needed, so I cannot get rid of this muscle, I need to get rid of fat. In theory, that's what we're looking to get. But how do we get rid of fat? We can get rid of fat by sustaining a deficit that it cannot be very drastic, it cannot be very extreme, because otherwise you will be losing the muscle mass. Even if you trigger the muscle, you still will lose the muscle mass. And by moving. I have just sent you a screenshot of what my daily steps looks like on a gain phase when I actively ask myself to walk less. On a gain phase, on a cut phase, which I'm also getting into myself from this week onwards, my minimal step